What are subdivisions and how does counting them help your timing in Beat Saber? Hey, Better Than Bald here. Today I'm going to show you what subdivisions are, what quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes are, about rests and how they change rhythms, and some simple strategies that you can use to lock in these subdivision rhythms. Let's jump in. Alright, so in the last video we talked about what the beat is, and the majority of songs the beat just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all a subdivision is you're breaking down that beat into smaller, evenly spaced notes in between each beat. In most songs, we use 4/4 time. All that means is there's 4 notes that get the beat, and each note is a quarter note. So we've already started using this from the last video. Okay, so now that we have this foundation down, I want to break down this foundation into different subdivisions. So quarter notes are self-explanatory. It's what we've been using as the beat. Now, eighth notes, on the other hand, are what happens if we take a quarter note and we chop it in half. Normally, for quarter notes, they're counted 1, 2, 3, 4. But now when you have eighth notes, you add an and in between each beat. So now it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Essentially, you're fitting 2 notes in the time that one quarter note will be played. So where there's one beat, there's 2 notes that are evenly spaced in between that one beat. We're just cutting up a quarter note into 2 beats, and that's all eighth notes really are. A similar thing happens with what's called 16th notes. We can take an eighth note and turn it into 2 16th notes. If we fit the 16th notes into a quarter note, we end up being able to fit 4 16th notes into a quarter note. So the eighth notes are counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 16th notes, now there's 4 of them in each beat. It's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So all subdivisions really are is we're dividing the notes in evenly spaced ways in reference to our beat. That's all it is. Alright, so I'm going to do a little exercise with you just so you can get used to counting. We're going to count a measure of quarter notes, a measure of eighth notes, and a measure of 16th notes, and then a fun bonus measure with a mixture of all of them, just so that you can get practice counting the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4 and. Cool. Now I want to talk about what rests are. Rests are just silence. They're places where nothing is played. A rest can be a quarter note rest, it can be an eighth note rest, and it can be a 16th note rest. And these all match the same subdivisions we just learned and counted through. So here's an example. 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Here's an example with eighth notes. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4. So here's the key point with subdivisions and rests. What rests tell you is when the actual rhythm is coming. So sometimes when I'm playing a song that's more wonky or funky, there'll be notes that are kind of missing on the rhythm. I might be expecting it to be completely filled up with eighth notes, but instead it's like there's a couple eighth notes, and then there's a rest, and then there's a couple more eighth notes. Essentially what counting does is it lets me know the placement of the different blocks coming my way. It helps me to be able to predict their placement better so that I can have better swings. So when you're playing Beat Saber, there's a couple different ways that you can actually count the rhythms. The first option, and probably the easiest, is you just count the subdivision straight through while you play, even if there are rests. So you'll still count the and even if there's no and there, just so that you have the speed and the timing down as you're playing. The second option is to count only hits. And this is harder to do, so I recommend you master the previous option first of just counting everything. This will help you with being able to predict the notes coming and the different spacing in between. But yeah, it's a lot harder to do, so I recommend that you master the first option first before doing this. The reason subdivisions and counting them is helpful in Beat Saber is it'll help you just to stop being chaotic when you're playing. You won't flail as much, you'll be more able to predict the notes coming at you and the space in between the notes. I find myself being able to predict easily between 16th notes, 8th notes, quarter notes, and the different rests in between because I've practiced this for a while. If you're able to read the rhythm, it makes things a lot easier, and then you're able to focus on perfecting your positioning and your swing so that you can get those high accuracy scores. Now, here's a few tips and strategies just to close out this video I want to give you. Don't skip counting out loud. Obviously, you need to be able to find the beat, so make sure you're counting at the speed of the beat. But once you're there, I want you to actually count out loud. Count the rhythms. Count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and just get used to counting out loud. Groove to the beat a bit. Just ensure that you're practicing this because it's going to help your brain to be able to recognize the rhythms and you'll improve over time. I'd also encourage you to, when you're in the menu or maybe there's a song with a long intro, just take some time to practice swinging and counting the different subdivisions. So sometimes I'll just do it on my left hand or right hand, or I'll do it on both. I'll be counting the subdivisions and swinging up and down to the subdivisions and I'm counting. And this just helps me to be able to lock in the counting, the grooving, and all these different things. So I'd encourage you to do that as well. Cool. Well, that's it for today's rhythm theory video. Some of the next ones I'm making are going to be exclusive to the Ball Dojo, so I don't know when I'm going to release the next public video, but stay tuned for the next one, guys, for those of you that aren't in the server. If you want to join the server, I'm still building it. It's going to be a while of me beta testing. I want to get at least the first few belts to a good place before I launch it officially. But if you would like to join, send me a message on my TikTok account. You can find the link in the description below. See you guys all in the next video.